Coming up tonight, a party mourns. The Free National Movement holds a vigil for its Deputy Chairman Don Saunders a day after his shocking murder, and a parliamentary patriarch. That's how former House Speaker Halton Moultrie is describing his slain Deputy Speaker. Then, the Passion of the Christ. Thousands attend Good Friday services to mark Jesus' crucifixion. Plus, a senior Carifta captain is set to swim with his last Carifta team. Our news live at 7:30 starts right now. Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us on this Good Friday holiday. I'm Megan Shepherd. The nation continues to mourn the death of former Tall Pines MP and Free National Movement Deputy Chairman Don Saunders. Saunders was gunned down in western New Providence on Wednesday night. His party coming together for the first time since his tragic slaying during a council meeting where they reflected on his memory and lasting impact on the party. Our Joshua Williams was there.
F&M members and supporters gathering at party headquarters on Mackey Street for prayer and reflection. This following the shocking murder of Deputy Chairman of the party, Don Saunders, who was gunned down in Gambier Village shortly after 9 Wednesday night. The event was private as media was prohibited from entering the solemn gathering. The party's Secretary General Serafin Roll was an attendee and paints the picture of the intimate moment.
There's so much that's happening. There's so much talk about the interactions with him as a politician, as a friend, and so what we wanted to do was just come together to have a safe space.
Roll says the support shown for Saunders shows the type of person he was.
When you saw people out there, and it continues on social media and elsewhere, when you saw people come out there for Don because they were concerned for him and for his family, it tells you about who he was as a person. He was a man for everybody.
And with the Deputy Chairman's seat now vacant, we asked party officials if there is a plan to replace Saunders.
That's not even a discussion right now for us. We are mourning the death of our Deputy Chairman, and that is what we're doing at this time. Our Constitution will guide us, and at the appropriate time we will deal with whatever we need to deal with.
And when it comes to Saunders' family, the F&M Secretary General had this simple request.
I just want everyone to continue to respect the privacy of that family.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much, Josh. And as we just heard, Saunders also served as the Deputy Speaker in the House of Assembly. Tonight, we hear from the man he served with, former House Speaker Halton Moultrie, who says their friendship extended beyond the walls of Parliament.
During my tenure as Speaker, I had forged a very, very good working relationship with Don.
Halton Moultrie and Don Saunders were both appointed to lead the House of Assembly following the 2017 general election. Moultrie would serve as House Speaker while Saunders would serve as Deputy House Speaker until September 2021. Moultrie says after taking office, they set out to make what they felt were necessary changes.
We spent a lot of time together going over those laws, and then we decided that to bring about the independence of the Parliament, we need legislation to do that.
It was from that point that an act to provide an independent parliament was drafted and circulated under the then Minister administration. Moultrie says he was passionate about parliamentary procedure and took a patriotic approach to his duties. While they both started out as Free National Movement members of Parliament, it didn't end that way. Moultrie eventually resigned from the party.
Interestingly, with Don, it made no difference. See, Don understood the principles upon which I was acting.
Even outside of Parliament, the former House Speaker says the two maintained a professional and personal relationship.
Whenever I would have a matter that I thought that he was more proficient in, I would call him and ask for his advice.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Now, the murder of the former Deputy House Speaker has placed a glaring spotlight on the Gambier community. It's not the first deadly incident to unfold in the western New Providence neighborhood. One of the most well-known was the October 24th, 2013 murder and armed robbery of businessman Kurt McCartney, who was also the brother of former DNA leader and F&M MP Pranville McCartney. Now, some Gambia residents are calling for an intervention for crime in their community.
We have a lot of young boys, young youths in this area. I like if they can try to never have someone to come around and walk and chat with them and say, look here, young man, if we get a job out here for you, I want you to go on that job site, get yourself a job, and I don't want to see you on the street.
He adds it's not just an issue that plagues their community, insisting it seems young men across the country seem to be drawn to life in the fast lane.
The majority, I'm telling you, the majority of them, the young fellas, the majority of them, all they do is sit down, try to sell a half bag, make a couple dollars, and then that's it.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Good Friday evening, everybody. I hope you got to visit your place of worship this morning and you had your fried fish and your hot cross bun. I had mine. Tasted pretty good. 74 degrees outside our studios right now with few clouds, and it is on the breezy side. Temperatures managed to get up into the upper 70s. Winds out of the northeast at 18 miles per hour, and your feels like temperature is a comfortable 73. Satellite radar composite showing quiet conditions across the area. A high pressure ridge is in charge of our weather. Frontal boundary that moves through us now is down near the southeast Bahamas. It's falling apart. Some clouds still associated with it, as well as some isolated showers. But that high pressure will continue to dominate our weather for the next couple of days with some very nice conditions. Winds expected to fall off tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, commemorating Jesus' crucifixion, churches across the country celebrate Good Friday. Plus, our Berthany McDermott continues his series on millennial pastoring. That's coming up when our news returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and the world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there's anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
Welcome back. Christians worldwide and here in the Bahamas celebrating Good Friday with church services marking the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. A part of that celebration includes church plays depicting Jesus' arrest, trial, and death sentence for claiming to be the Son of God. Commemorating Jesus' crucifixion, Good Friday is a solemn day of mourning and reflection for Christians. It's also a part of Holy Week, which includes Palm Sunday, Maundy Thursday, or Holy Thursday. Over at St. George's Anglican Church, its rector, Reverend Andrew Toppin, highlights the importance of the day.
Today is Good Friday, the day Jesus Christ died on the cross to save the world from sin and death. On this day, Jesus became our substitute, and as 1 Peter 3:18 says, so once for our sins, the righteous. As God's sinless sacrifice, Christ suffered and died once and for all who believed in him.
Tonight, we're continuing our series on millennial pastors. In this next story, a young priest reveals why it's not always easy and how he finds joy and satisfaction in the priesthood. Berthany McDermott has his story.
The road to the priesthood hasn't always been easy for St. Agnes assistant priest, the Reverend Dr. Travis Fernander. Traditionally, priests are usually older than this 31-year-old. As a result, he says it was a cultural change for most of the parishioners, but he's found a way around it.
As long as you build that relationship with them, as long as you show them that you genuinely care for them and that you have their best interest at heart, they warm up to everything exactly.
He admits, though, that getting them to warm up wasn't always easy. As a millennial priest, Fernando says he found ways to integrate the older generation with the younger congregants and new members.
One of the key things that you always have to do is ensure that both of them get involved together, find opportunities for the young and the old to collaborate with one another.
He says he sets rules for himself to ensure time is set aside for himself. While he says he struggled with it in his early years in the priesthood, now he has set the ground rules.
As a rector or a priest in charge in my own rights, that is something that I try to instill within myself. An example would be I try my best after 7 o'clock to cut off any work business if I can handle it, to make that time for myself, my family, to catch up with my friends, etc., etc.
His advice to other millennial priests: to put your ego aside and respect the ethos of the church.
This is an institution that would have existed for almost 200 years. So of course there are certain things that work, there are certain things that can be changed as well. But you have to understand that as a millennial moving into the church, my job is not to destroy the church, but rather to transcend the church from one generation to the other.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
When Our News comes back from the break, our Sasha Lightbourne speaks with a senior Carifta captain about his last swim with the team. Plus,
coming up in sports, opening day for Jazz Chisholm and the Carifta takeover is underway.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
you're watching Our News. Welcome back. The nation gets ready for a weekend of Carifta excitement both here at home and in Grenada. Here now with our sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo Dorset. Ronaldo.
Thanks, Megan, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Jazz Chisholm brought the highlights, but the new-look Miami Marlins fell just short on opening day. Chisholm finished 1 for 3 and scored 2 runs in the Marlins' 6-5 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates Thursday at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Defensively, Chisholm made a diving catch in shallow center in the top of the 7th inning to rob Connor Joe of a base hit. Game 2 in the series is underway right now with a pair of lefties expected on the mound tonight for both teams. AJ Puck gets the start for the Marlins and Martin Perez for the Pirates. Team Bahamas went through their final practice sessions today ahead of the 51st Carifta Track and Field Championships in Grenada. The first medal opportunities will come in tomorrow's opening session. Kiezra Thomas, Alexandria Komalafi will both compete in the under-17 girls high jump, while Ethan North and Wyatt Cartwright compete in the under-17 boys javelin. Terrell McCoy competes in the under-17 girls shot put. A busy afternoon session begins at 2:30 with the opening ceremony. It also includes the heptathlon and octathlon, along with the under-20 boys pole vault, under-20 boys discus, under-17 boys long jump, and the under-20 girls triple jump. On the track will be the finals of the 1500, 400 meters, and 100 meters. Before action heads to the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center, the region will celebrate Carifta Aquatics at the Nassau Cruise Port. The opening ceremony for the 37th Carifta Aquatic Championships was the first event on a busy schedule this weekend. This morning, the team also hosted its final practice session. 5 days of competition will begin tomorrow at the BKK Aquatic Center, with heats in the morning session at 9 a.m. and finals beginning in the evening session at 6 p.m. A historic season for Brent Moss and the Barton Community College Cougars all comes down to this. The number 1 overall seed in the NJC2A Division I tournament, they advanced to the national title game with a 93-78 win over 5th-seeded Indian Hills Thursday night in Hutchinson, Kansas. Moss finished with 13 points and 5 boards in 26 minutes off the bench. He's averaging 14.7 points per game in the tournament thus far. Barton will face Triton College tomorrow at 2 p.m. local time for the NJC2A national title. The Cougars' win streak is now up to 26 consecutive games with a 35-1 record overall. It's Friday, so that means you get the 10YS Plays of the Week. At number 5, Valentino Simon with the dunk to end it and the awareness to find the camera immediately after. Number 4, JJ goes deep in a bag for the lefty reverse, a bucket in every country. Number 3, Brent Moss goes up, nobody else goes up with him, smart choice by the defender. Number 2, Jazz out in the outfield finding any excuse to show off the P.E. Jordan 11s. And at number 1, Dante Stewart hits for the cycle and is now the biggest star in Memphis. Until Ja Morant comes by. That'll do it for our sports. Clearly, it's all Carifta all weekend. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News, it's the final hurrah for a senior Carifta swim team captain. Find out why. Plus, fairly warm temperatures today. Greg is back with your holiday weather details right after this quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. Well, we're one day into the holiday weekend, but what kind of weather can we expect over the next 3 days? Well, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a check on temperatures. Greg?
Yeah, thanks again, Megan, and welcome back, everybody, for our final check of weather. We have a high-pressure ridge in charge of our weather. That's dominating our winds regime across the area, keeping us on the breezy side. We do have a weak frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas, basically falling apart. Has some clouds associated with it as well as some isolated showers, but that high will continue to dominate our weather. Hazardous boating and beaching conditions will continue through the weekend. That's all due to the swells that we are expecting to affect the islands. The winds expected to come off tomorrow, fall off somewhat across the northwest Bahamas, but it will remain breezy across the central Bahamas and southeast Bahamas through the rest of the weekend. Future forecast, that frontal boundary, moisture associated with it, well out there in the open Atlantic, will exit our area, and beautiful conditions expected for the remainder of our holiday weekend. So get outdoors and enjoy. It's going to be very nice on the outdoors. Boating forecast for all areas tonight to tomorrow. We have an advisory posted still. Northeast to east winds at 15 to 20 knots. They will be falling off across the northwest Bahamas, 10 to 15 knots, but those seas will remain elevated 3 to 5 feet, but building up to 6 to 9 feet over open waters and along Atlantic exposures in some northeasterly swells. High tide is at 11:33 tonight. Your low tide taking place at 6:01 in the morning. Here's a look now at your extended forecast. We have pretty nice conditions continuing through the remainder of the next couple of days. There is a weak front we expect to get in here sometime on Wednesday, but temperatures will remain near the 80-degree mark. That's a look at our weather. Make it a great night and continue to enjoy the holiday, everybody.
The official opening of the Carifta Games kicked off this evening, but these games will be the final one for one of the captains on this year's swim team. Our Sasha Lightbourne has his story.
Marvin Johnson served as one of the captains of last year's 5-peat Carifta Aquatics team. This year, he's back as a captain again and describes the feeling going into his final Carifta Games.
It's bittersweet, being in the Bahamas for my last Carifta is something that, I've dreamed of. I watched my first Carifta at 10 here in the Bahamas, so to be able to end it off here is even special, and to be a captain for this great team, especially with everything we've been through with the pool, it's something that, I can never ask for, and, it's never going to be able to be compared to any team that I'm on after.
He only joined the team this week, but despite that, his confidence for the 6-peat remains sky high.
I have a news flash for everyone that's doubting us. It's happening. I mean, everyone should be prepared to come second, because the team that's in the water today and yesterday and, it's going to be in the water during the meet is something scary and something crazy.
And for those of you who've not purchased tickets yet, Well, the 2024 swim team captain said this.
Swimming is something that, I know a lot of Bahamians have not really came and watched and dabbled in. So, I hope that they come out and give it a shot and just see the energy that our team brings and, be a part of that 6P because, it's going to be something special and something that's never been done before.
Marvin's mom, Karen Pinder-Jones, just so happens to be the team manager, and she's extremely proud of her son's success.
Everything he does has to be at a standard that's going to make me and his father proud, and then the Bahamian people. So I see Marvin continuing this journey. This is his last Carifta Games. I'm sure he's going to go out there and he's going to put on a show like all the other swimmers, because for him, and it being his last Carifta Games, I think he wants that victory under his belt.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Thanks so much, Sasha, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening.